Hey everybody, I hope you guys are safe and healthy. So today we have an unboxing of the three Realme 6 phones. So we have the 6i, this is the most base budget model, and the standard Realme 6, and the Realme 6 Pro. The 6 Pro in particular interests me quite a lot because this is the first phone to run Qualcomm's Snapdragon 720G. As you can see, it has a 90 Hz screen, so that's like a premium feature that we gushed about just last year. Now it's available on a phone that starts at $225 US. Also has a 64 megapixel main camera with a 30-watt fast charging for the 4,300 mAh battery. I'm pretty sure this will be very similar to the Realme X50 Pro that I tested, except it won't have a glass body, I'm assuming, and it won't have a Snapdragon 865. The standard Realme 6 also has a 90 Hz display, has the same size battery, except the chipset is lowered from a Qualcomm Snapdragon 720 to a Helio G90T. Otherwise, everything about these two phones are the same. The cameras are the same too. Now the 6i is the most budget model, so it runs on a Helio G80, and the charging is only 18 watt. But you have a 5,000 mAh battery. That's pretty huge. So this phone, it's gonna get good value because it starts at $170. So either way, all three of these phones are gonna be pretty good value. Right now it's only sold in India, but I believe it will be released throughout Southeast Asia pretty soon, and maybe to Eastern Europe. So this one starts at $170 US. This starts at about $200 US, and then this starts at $225. So for $225, you're getting really nice specs here, 90 Hz Snapdragon 720. So we'll do the unboxing. Let's start with the most budget phone. So there's a jelly case, interesting finish on the back with vertical lines that run across. I'm not sure I like how it looks right now, but maybe it'll grow on me. So this finish appears to be composite, probably a blend of plastic and other material. It doesn't feel as hollow as plastic. It feels quite firm actually and dense, but it's definitely not glass. And then we have a charger cable and a charger. That's it. So not surprisingly, this is a very bare bones package because, you know, this phone, it's a budget phone. It starts at $170 US. Now we'll look at the Realme 6. So the Helio G90T, even though, you know, it doesn't have a flashy name like the Qualcomm Snapdragon chips, it's still a very capable chipset according to benchmarks. So it seems to be the exact same unboxing experience. You have a rubber case, then you have a charging cable and Realme's fast charger. You see it's slightly larger than the 18 watt charger. So it's not quite as fast as Oppo's SuperVOOC 2.0, but it's the same technology. Okay, I'm liking the finish of this one. So you have a quad camera setup headlined by a 64 megapixel main sensor from Samsung. But finally, we have the Realme 6 Pro. Okay, it's gonna be exactly the same. You have a case, you have a charger. Okay, this material feels a little bit nicer. I don't think it's glass. It's probably still composite, but it feels different from the other Realme phones I just opened. So you have a side-mounted fingerprint scanner, so no in-display fingerprint reader here. But, you know, I'll gladly take that. And the location of it is pretty good too, because it's right in the middle of the phone. Unlike on some Samsung phones like the Galaxy Z Flip or the Huawei Mate X, the fingerprint scanner is higher up, so I find that it's quite hard for me to reach when I hold the phone in my left hand, but this one is right in the middle. Anyway, I'm going to set up the phones and then I'll be back. Alright guys, I'm back with the Realme 6 Pro. So I took this phone outside for about 3 hours. So these are my impressions. I'm really liking the back design of this phone, especially how the light hits it. It shimmers off in certain ways. Again, look at the camera modules. So the top, you have a 8 megapixel ultra wide camera. Unfortunately, for a wide angle camera with such a wide field of vision, 8 megapixels just isn't that high. So I would say in general, the camera works great during the day, but at night, the wide angle images will come out a little bit soft. Right here, you have a main camera. This is a 64 megapixel sensor from Samsung. Shoots pixel binned photos. And right here, you have a 12 megapixel telephoto zoom lens. So the zoom lens works in tandem with the 64 megapixel camera to produce a 20 times digital zoom. It's okay. It's definitely can't compare to the recent zoom cameras I've tested from the Oppo Find X2 or the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra, but those phones cost like 5 times as much as this, so that's complete nitpicking on my end. And then you have a macro lens right here that allows you to take some pretty nice macro camera. Although I do wonder, do we need a dedicated macro lens, because the wide angle camera can also double as macro lens in other Oppo handsets. Now these cameras work in tandem to produce a pretty decent bokeh portrait shots too, as you can see from some of these samples right here. Now the phone, as mentioned, it runs on Qualcomm's Snapdragon 720G, and it's more than powerful enough for daily tasks. You see Geekbench numbers here are pretty respectable for this price point, and when I play games such as Hero Hunter and Asphalt 8, they were able to run at medium to high graphics. Not the ultra, not the highest setting, but the setting one notch below the highest. You can run it at full 60 frames per second without hiccups. Now the 6.6 inch screen here is an LCD panel. It is not OLED, but outdoor brightness is respectable at this price point. So you see outside the sun, it's definitely hard to see when the sun is shining directly on it. But you see if I tilt the phone just towards me a little bit, I can see the screen just fine, even under direct sunlight. The panel refreshes at 90 Hz. Now I find that the animations all around are a little bit not as fast as say the OnePlus 7 Pro or the OnePlus 7T. That's also a 90 Hz panel, but this is not bad. This is definitely better than a 60 Hz panel, but I would say it is not like the smoothest 90 Hz panel I've seen. I think the Oppo Reno Ace, it's a little bit more fluid to my eyes. The software right here runs on Android 10 with Realme's UI on top. Now Realme UI is very similar to ColorOS. That's not a bad thing though. I like ColorOS. You have an app tray that works. You can bring down a notification shade by swiping anywhere on the screen. You can double tap on the screen to turn off. Now just jump into settings, look at gestures. There are generally a lot of shortcuts you can do with this phone that you cannot do on several other phones. Like you can have a smart sidebar, which I've covered before. You swipe from the sides, it allows you to activate shortcuts immediately. And you see you have more gestures right here, like swipe down with 3 fingers to grab a screenshot, raise to wake, all of that. The fingerprint scanner on the side, it's pretty fast and accurate. I don't have any complaints at all, and like I said earlier, it's easy to reach because it's in the middle of the phone. Now around the front you have 2 selfie cameras. One of them is a 32 megapixel sensor and the other is a wide angle lens. That gets the job done for the most part. If you're familiar with Realme phones in the past, you know that the selfies tend to be a little bit over polished, but for the most part it's not bad. Again, for this price point, no complaints at all. You see dynamic range is struggling a little bit. It's kind of blown out behind my hand, but it's not too bad. Now you do have a headphone jack, so that's good news to a lot of you. And overall construction of the phone feels nice. Like the buttons, they are pretty sturdy and clicky. They don't wobble when you press on them. Like I can't even say that about some LG phones or Sony phones, to be honest. So now unfortunately this phone only has a single bottom fine speaker, so you can muffle it pretty easily. But it does get pretty loud without distortion. So that's about it for this quick first look at the Realme 6 Pro. I'm going to spend more time testing this phone, so expect a full review sometime in a week or so. And I'm also going to test the Realme 6i and Realme 6. And also, like I said earlier, I'm getting the Huawei P40 Pro very soon. So if you're interested in that phone, please subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram at Ben's Gadget Reviews. I'm going to have content on the Huawei P40 Pro very soon. So this is it for the Realme 6 Pro. Thanks for watching.